Welcome to the notes on simplifying expressions. All right, in this lesson, our goal is to be able to simplify algebraic expressions. And how we're going to do it? We're going to be combining like terms, kind of continue that over there, and we're going to use the distributive property. Okay, and we'll explain what those are in a second here. All right, so first thing, some definition. Terms. What is a term? A term is separated by a plus or a minus sign. So in this example, there's our plus sign. So we have two terms in this first example. The second example, we have 1, 2, 3, all right? And there are three terms. Okay, now, variable term versus a constant term. A variable term, all right, is just that. It has a variable. So when I look at this, this is a variable term. Oops, I want to move that for you. This is a variable term. This is a variable term. Okay, then what constant term? All right, constant term then has no variable. Just a number, if you will. What do those look like? This would be an example of a constant term, and this would be an example of a constant term. So there's some definition stuff. The other thing you need to know is, what is a coefficient? All right, a coefficient, and here's a bunch of examples. It's the number in front of the variable. So in this case, 5, all right, would be the numerical coefficient of that term. If there's nothing in front, like in this case, all right, if it's just x, it's implied that that is 1x. All right, so they put x or 1x. Okay, it's understood. If it was something other than 1, they would put that number. Again, it doesn't matter if there's a y squared. In this case, it would be 3. And here, the negative sign is with that coefficient. That'd be example of -6. All right, so there's our coefficients. We know what terms are. Now, combining like terms, okay? You'll hear me use a CLT, combining like terms. And like terms, they must have the same variable with the same exponent, okay? Here are some examples of like terms. Notice one's positive, one's negative, but they each have an x. Again, -6y, 2y, y, all like terms. Unlike terms, each have an x, but this has an x squared, not a like term, okay? I have two quick examples here to the right. If I looked at this, 3x plus 5x, those are like terms. I could make that 8x. This one right here, 3x plus 5, well, I can't combine those because they're not like terms. That has an x, the 5 is a constant term, so this would just equal 3x plus 5. You can't combine it. So now that we know that, let's take a look at a problem here. I would ask you to simplify 2y minus 6 plus 4y plus 8. Okay, combining like terms. Okay, you combine like terms. The operation you use when you're combining like terms, by the way, is add or subtract. That's how you combine like terms. So here we go. I got a 2y and a 4y. All right, I combine those to 6y. I've got a -6 plus 8. Well, -6 plus 8, -6 plus 8 is going to be +2. So there would be my final answer, 6y plus 2. Can't simplify that any further. Now, we combine like terms by adding or subtracting. We multiply expressions by using the distributive property. Okay, so just like I had this 3x plus 5x example and this 3x plus 5, I can't combine those, but if I say 3x times 5, I can multiply those together. All right, so 3x times 5 would be 15x. So here we go with some multiplying expressions. When do you know to use the distributive property? When you see parentheses. So there's parentheses there, so that's 5 times x plus 4. So when I distribute, I take this 5, I times it by x. So it's really 5 times x plus 5 times 4. So my final answer when I do that would be 5x plus 20. There's my final answer for that example. Now this one over here, we've got a -2. Why I put this is I have this -15. You only distribute the negative to what's inside the parentheses. So in an example like this, watch your sign. So -2 times 3 is -6. -2 times +17x is -14x. And then I don't have to distribute to this -15 because it's outside the parentheses, so I just then write -15. At this point, I just look to combine like terms. I can combine the -6 and the -15. I keep the -14x, I'll write that first, and that negative sign goes with the 14x, and then -6 minus 15 would be -21. So there is my final answer. So there you have our lesson on simplifying algebraic expressions by combining like terms using addition and subtraction, or multiplying terms together by using the distributive property.